Well, hey there. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to the channel for this installment of Open Mic, where the mic is open. The floor is yours. What do you guys want to talk about? That's what we're here to do today. And there's two different ways you can get a topic or a question for us to address on the show. The first way is if you're watching the show one of the 23 hours of the day that we're not streaming live, you can send in a question anytime 24/7 at streamelements.com/John Campea/tip. And the other way is if you are watching live, you can use the super chat feature and send those in. The super chats are currently open. They will be closed pretty soon. So if you have a topic or a question, go ahead and fire it on in. I'm joined, of course, by Ray Ora, Jonathan Voico's over
Hello.
there, and you guys are here. So look, before we get into your questions, Ray's wagging his
Don't you
finger
want to
at
hear
me.
my sad story this morning?
Really?
Are you
We're
actually
going to
gonna
start
say
off the
it?
show with a sad story?
Yeah, it's just going to be real quick.
All right, sad
It's
story
more of a
time.
sad story
So
for me
it
if I
started
have to
not
tolerate
today,
it.
this morning, but yesterday, because Walmart was dropping their Comic-Con exclusives, and one of them was these turtles.
Quick question. How can they be Comic-Con exclusives if they're at Walmart?
I know, but they're like, they're just because everyone releases something online.
Okay, sure. I'll go
Anyway,
with that.
they're these guys, but they're like, they look like the actual, they're all like painted up like real nice with the lines and stuff.
What characters?
All of them.
Oh, you mean
So-
the turtles?
so I've
yeah,
been-
you didn't mention the turtles.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
the turtles.
I
So I've
like
been-
turtles.
So I've been planning this for maybe a week because they were supposed to drop on the 18th, I thought, 7 a.m. I had them on a list in my Walmart app, right? So like as soon as they go up, I could put add all to cart and check out. They didn't come out yesterday, so they came out this morning and I was right there. I added them all to cart, but I forgot the last time I used my Walmart app, I used the business card because we needed a cable or something a while back. Like you told me to buy a cable.
So
or
what you're
something.
saying is I bought
No.
a bunch
So
of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff.
No. So during the time I switched out to my Walmart card. And it said all of them were sold out.
Oh.
And Ann was on it too. And then I texted her. She's like, "Oh, I forgot," because she was up yesterday trying to get it. But then I told her, "Oh, they didn't drop today." So today I said,
So what were they? Like Comic-Con exclusive what though? Funkos?
No. They're individual Ninja Turtles, but they have their like cool little box. But then they're painted up way better than these. Like they
Okay.
actually look like they do in the movie with all the line art and stuff. But you know what? I thought about it. I was like, do I really need this stuff? I don't. So, I mean, it's whatever.
What were they gonna
Maybe
cost?
the best case is that I didn't get them.
What were they going to cost?
Well, these are $10 each, right?
Right. How much?
But
the other
these ones are $30 each.
Oh, okay.
Because they come with a display box and all that stuff. It's one of those things.
All right. Well, it's not
Sad
that
story.
sad of a story. I mean,
Yeah,
I thought you were going
but,
to say
you
something
know-
bad happened.
Come on.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't get
It's
your
o-
seventh iteration of Teenage Mutant Ninja
It's
Turtle.
okay. I just wanted to fill this whole thing up all the way up this mic, all the way down.
All right.
Okay, anyways, more important you. Sorry,
Well,
guys.
you know, Ray, when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling down, when it seems like the world is turned upside down,
Here we go.
when things don't make sense
Oh, jeez.
and the skies look gray
Oh, boy.
and the world is like shaking under your feet and you need a sense of stability,
Oh, my.
you need a sense of something that's working, you need a sense of something that is steadfast in
I'm
your
not
life.
sharing nothing anymore.
You know what you turn to?
What?
The DCEU.
All right.
The paragon of steadfastness and reliability and quality and sunshine and happiness, where everything works all the time. Well,
Thank you.
it seems like, man, the stories coming out of the DCU, just to remind everybody, ever since 5 years ago, 2018, there has not been a single DC, and there have been 6. There's not been a single DCEU movie that's made over, this has even gotten to the $400 million mark. Not opening weekend, not domestically, worldwide grand total, no DCU movie in 5 years. But that's okay, Ray. That's all right. Because you know what that last movie that did crack $400 million was? Aquaman. And you know what DC's got coming? Aquaman 2. So surely the old DCEU is going to go out on a bang with
And
the
splash.
highest grossing DC film of all time, Aquaman 1, its sequel to that. Surely that's going to be the one that brings happiness and Skittles.
Gonna dot that I.
And cross that T.
Yep. With this
That's what the new.
We run out, huh, Jonathan?
That's what the new Aquaman's going to do, Ray.
Okay.
And James Wan, back to direct. Love James Wan. He's great.
Yep.
But there might be a little problem. Could be a little bit of wrench in the works. Maybe a little bit of a complication. Because not according to Gus's gas station movie reviews.fart, but rather according to the Hollywood Reporter,
Ooh. They're pretty good,
Aquaman
right?
2 is in a complete mess. And they're getting ready to go in to their third round of reshoots.
Yeah, plus actor strikes and writer strikes. So
All that kind of stuff, right? So here's the basic gist of the article here. The first and primary problem that Aquaman has had is that it has been in development and coming to fruition under not one, not two, but three ownership groups at Warner Brothers. Used to be under the old WB, then the AT&T WB, and now landing on the Discovery Warner Brothers. That they made the movie according to, again, whenever you read reports about, the movie didn't test screen, well, don't believe it. It's usually 99% of the time bullshit. But this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, who are reporting that it test screened badly. Under AT&T Warner Brothers, they took it in for reshoots back in 2022, I think. Then they test screened it again, and it test screened worse. According to the Hollywood Reporter, they had different iterations. One, Michael Keaton's Batman was going to be in this movie. They shot his stuff.
Good.
Oh, they've taken it out, though.
Oh.
But then don't worry. Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck's Batman is going to be in Aquaman.
We saw that picture.
So they shot that. Oh, wait a minute. They took it out. No Batman anymore. Not the Michael Keaton one, not the Ben Affleck one. They shot that stuff. Like it's all gone. And now they're going in for their last gasp. I mean, and with the writer's strike, what can they? Can they even go do it?
Yeah, I don't understand because that has to be rewritten.
They're underwater. I don't think it applies.
They're underwater. I don't know. Maybe James Wan isn't a member of the WGA and he just scratched something together. I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently, according to the Hollywood Reporter, they're going in for a third round of reshoots and everything is in total disarray. Again, and this is good. This is not some new thing. This is going all the way back to 2018. That every single thing that has come out from a box office perspective has come out and fallen on its face. Even great movies like James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Even great, and I know not everybody agrees with me on this, but I don't care. Great movies like The Flash couldn't even get to 300 million. I don't know. Maybe double check there. Did it get to 300 million?
Let's check it.
I mean, good for it if it got to 300 million.
Good on you.
The Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, couldn't get 150 million. Or certainly couldn't get to 200 million.
267.
The Flash?
Yep.
What a choke job.
Yep. 60-40.
And again, and I'm not trying to bash on The Flash. I love the movie. I thought the
Flash.
movie was great. Bash on The Flash. That's the new show coming Wednesdays at 5 p.m. in the afternoons. I'm not trying to bash on The Flash. I love the movie. But wow, what a choke job. What an absolute gutter troll that turned out to be. And now we got Blue Beetle coming out. And listen, God bless everybody who's got any optimism for Blue Beetle. And that movie's going to flop hard.
Yeah, it is.
Now, I think it
Flop
looks
right into
interesting.
$2 billion.
I think that movie looks interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing Blue Beetle. So I'm not trying to trash on Blue Beetle. I'm looking forward to watching it. But it's going to flop hard. Then the one last glimmer in the twilight sky that said maybe,
Just maybe.
yeah, DC could go out on a high note before the brand new DCU starts in 2025. Aquaman, James Wan, $1 billion+ film. It was going to be Aquaman. Yeah, this is why we don't have nice things anymore, Ray. It looks like this has turned out to be an utter disaster. And I mean, I don't get it.
I don't even think do you think it's still going to make its release date? I mean, how close have you ever heard that they did reshoots?
Like
and still
legitimate
released?
reshoots?
Yeah.
Well, it's infamous for the first Avengers movie. I think Joss Whedon pulled the cast together to literally shoot the shawarma scene like 5 days before the movie came out.
Oh, but that's not.
But that was nothing. That was
Yeah.
literally them sitting at a table and eating something, right? And like legitimate reshoots for a big major motion. And now when's the movie coming out? November, December?
I think in November. Let me check.
November, let's say early November, okay? So we're in July, August, September, October, November. I mean, the movie's still 4 months away. That's tight, but it's not the tightest thing we've ever heard.
Lost Kingdom.
'cause I know
December 20th.
Okay, I was gonna say the first Aquaman came out in December, so I would have been surprised if this one didn't too. So
Plot unknown.
yeah, apparently to them as well.
Yeah.
Apparently they don't know what the plot is because this thing is looking messy. Again, the article is called Warner Brothers Quest to Build a Better Aquaman Sequel, 3 reshoots, 2 Batmans, and nonstop test screenings. It's at the Hollywood Reporter. Go and search for that. Read the article. It's quite informative.
Well,
And,
either way, Keaton got paid, whether he was in it or not.
Yep. I mean, he showed up. He showed up. Got in that bat nipple suit.
He don't have bat nipples on Keaton.
Well, if you're an Aquaman, the water gets cold.
That
you
is
got
true.
bat nipples.
You get a little shrivel and a little nipple.
No, you put extra insulation down there. No
Oh,
shriveling.
it's heating. It's
I was
self-heating.
in the pool.
This is
Yeah.
too open mic.
This is welcome to Two Open Mic. Oh, anyway, who knows? Who knows? You know what? Listen, before we all go all doom and gloom, do you remember World War? What was it called? What was the Brad Pitt zombie
World
movie?
War Z?
It was
Z,
World War
yeah.
Z. Remember World War Z?
Yeah.
They went back and practically reshot like 80% of that movie. You know what? The movie turned out pretty damn good.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So maybe this will be 3 times better because
It
they
will,
did
but
reshoots.
only a few people are going to see it. That's the problem.
Yeah, I
Even
don't
if
know.
it's good, no one's going to see it. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, like, the last one made $1 billion. You gotta figure somebody's gonna go see it, right?
Momoa got some box office power, I think.
Momoa's got some draw. Momoa's got some draw.
Yeah.
And plus, like,
But-
it's far enough from Way of Water where it doesn't probably embarrass itself with the water.
With the
effects.
underwater
The
stuff.
problem is they put up subpar movies that made a lot of money. Now when they finally learn their lesson, it's too late. So now they're putting out better movies.
Did they put out subpar movies that made money?
Oh, they still made money compared to today.
Not many of them, though.
500-600 million compared to 100 million.
Yeah, it's true. So,
I'll still be hyped for Aquaman. Come on, that's like
hey, listen.
a different sort
An
of
article like
superhero.
this is hard to be hyped when you read an article like this. But once they put out the new trailer,
Yeah.
I'll probably start getting hyped for it again.
Yeah.
So here's hoping. Anyway, all right, guys. With that down, let's move on over now and start taking your questions. That's what we're here to do. So let's start off with those tippling questions. Jonathan, what do we got?
Brittany Kirstella writes, my boyfriend and I are doing a quadruple header
Woo!
Friday all day with Sound of Freedom, then Barbie, then Oppenheimer, and all in IMAX, and then Mission Impossible from 9 in the morning until 10:30 at night. So excited.
You know,
I don't know if you'll be excited after, but
I tried once to do a 4 movies in one day thing at the theater.
Oof.
It was one of the Marvel things. I had to tap out. It's just too much. It's too long.
it has to be a leather recliner if you're gonna do that.
Have to be a leather recliner, and I have to take a nap.
Yeah, and I have to be. That has to be my seat the whole day. I'm not switching seats.
Oh, like
I
you
wanna
get- well,
make-
yeah,
I want to
it-
get real comfortable.
Yeah, for those Marvel or Harry
Yeah.
Potter marathon ones, it usually is just your seat. You
Right.
get your seat and go. But I mean, God bless in doing the 4, the back to back to back to back. I tried to do it once. That was like 6 years ago or something. I just can't do it. I can't do 4 in one day.
Just tell me she's doing an out of the theater review of all 4, like at one time.
At one time. Here you go. It's the quick out of theater review is 20 minutes long. All right, what's next?
Sailor Girl writes, Netflix. Sorry, let me clear that. Netflix showed Ancient Apocalypse as being factually correct to the layman when teachers were concerned with it being incorrect. Broadcasting channels like BBC would have had it fact checked or scientists rebut in the show. Is this concerning? Like
I don't even know what show.
I don't either.
I don't even have any idea what show we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I can't give a comment about whether I think it's accurate, not accurate, whether I actually felt like it was trying to portray itself as being accurate, or for whether it wasn't. Because look, like unless something is a pure documentary that represents itself to be, this is a basically a long news piece. This is a documentary. I don't believe that movies and stuff like that need to necessarily be really accurate. I don't think they need to be. I mean, we are still sitting down and watching a movie. We, as audience members, we have to assume there's elements of fiction in this. But since I don't know the project we're talking about, I can't really have an opinion. All right, what's next?
Jonathan Luce writes, "Hey John, longtime listener, first time tipper. My local IMAX theater is playing Oppenheimer in 70 millimeter. I just checked, and every showing from this Thursday well into August has sold out. But the front row had to get tickets for August 3rd, and that was weeks ago. Well, August 3rd isn't well into August, but I guess I know what you mean.
Here's the thing, though. I remember somebody wrote in and said something along those lines, right? So I went and I checked the Universal City Walk IMAX, and this weekend was sold out, but there were tickets next weekend, and not even just front row. I mean, there were a lot of seats sold, but there were tickets available for next weekend. So, I mean, I guess it all depends on where you are and all that kind of stuff. It all depends. All right, what's next?
Jesse the Savage writes, "Hey crew, have you ever heard Tom Hardy's voice?" Well, yes, we have. It's quite fascinating, like the way he talks. Examples: Bane, Venom, Max, and Fury Road, Reggie and Ronnie from Legend, Alfie and Peaky from Peaky Blinders, and Ivan Locke from Locke. It's so different. He's very talented. Yeah, he is for sure.
Yeah, he's great. And one of the best things about him is he is like a legit, like, world-class Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Martial arts. He just was winning some tournaments recently, stuff like that. The dude's a legit badass, and he's a terrific. And I was about to recommend a movie, and I don't know why all of a sudden I think it's called Locke. The movie that's just him in the car.
That's him in the car.
Yeah, terrific movie. Terrific movie. You really want to see how good he is? Check him out in that.
I will recommend Bronson. If you have never seen Bronson, that's one of my favorite of his.
That's the one that put him on the radar for a lot of people. Was that movie actually?
It was really good.
What's next?
JCSC, he's got a few here. Finally saw Elemental. Thanks for the later release date in the UK. As you say, all art is subjective, and I'm an unapologetic Pixar fanboy, but I don't get the tepid reaction this got, especially when it's another example of Pixar doing what they do best.
The movie's great.
Yeah.
I mean, Elemental is great. And let me just look it up here. Elemental box office. I mean, it started very slow, very, very, very slow, but it had a great drop-off rate. And listen, very quietly, it's crossed the $300 million mark, which, again, make no mistake, that's poor. That is poor. But it was looking like it was going to be a complete and unmitigated disaster because of its really, really slow start. And if I go over and take a look at it came in at number 5. Yeah, it came in at number 5 in its 5th week.
Yeah.
In its 5th week, it still came in at number 5. Only took a 9.3% drop. So it's like people are picking up late that, that movie that we all ignored? Turns out it's really fucking good.
It's all
that's what you should say to your kids, by the way, when you're going to take them go see the movie. Say, this one's really fucking good, Timmy.
Like I said about The Little Mermaid, it came out and it was okay. But it's one of those movies that's gonna have legs just because there's nothing like it that's in the theaters right now. So Elemental, it has Spider-Verse, like if any animation is competing with, but they're still two different types of movies.
Yeah, but guys, seriously, obviously with it only making like $314 million so far, a lot of you guys haven't seen it. It's a great movie. It's really, really, it's not like top 2 or 3 best Pixar ever, but it's really solid. I was quite surprised by how good it is. All right, what's next?
All right, 1 second here. We got wrong one. Jai CSC to Richard Donner cut writes, after you hyped them up, I watched the first few episodes of Silo and the Bear. Both are pretty good so far, but I'm with a lot of people in thinking The Bear is a drama series. It is. I felt there was more levity and humor in The Last of Us or Mayor of Easttown than this. Isn't it Kingstown or is it Easttown?
There's two.
Two.
There's Mayor of Easttown. That's the Kate Winslet one.
Oh,
and then there's Mayor of Easttown Mayor of
Renner?
Kingstown, which is Jeremy Renner. Yeah,
Okay.
2 different shows.
Oh.
Listen, I'm with you. The Bear is great, but it ain't a comedy. There are laughs in it, yes, but it's not a comedy. That's a drama series. It's 100% a drama series. So I don't get that, but it's a wonderful series. I love it. It's fantastic, but it is not a comedy. I don't know why they keep putting in these comedy categories. All right, what's next?
Okay, we've got JCSC has competition for ad space driven up some marketing costs for a movie. In my tiny corner in the UK, I've seen plenty of billboards, buses, etc., with posters for Mission Impossible and Oppenheimer, but far less for Barbie, though, which seems strange to me.
Listen, different movies are going to be marketed in different ways. Certain genres and types of films will be more effective on billboards than other genres and types of movies will be on billboards, right? Billboards are primarily targeted at adults because you're the ones driving the cars, all that kind of stuff. You're probably going to see something like Barbie advertised more in other sort of mediums. But listen, there's always a lot of movies coming out, always a fight for advertising space. That's why studios literally put up 50, 75, 100, 125 million dollars for a marketing campaign on a movie. Sometimes spending as much as the movie itself cost. But yeah, they're all going for that advertising space, man. All right, what's next?
All right, and in his final triumphant post, JCSC for Request for Peace writes, and in my last post today, tomorrow is my last day at my current job. After 5 years, I'll be teaching in a brand new school.
Congratulations.
Just one last thanks to the John Campea Show, as it's what's been on in the background when I was doing lessons plans and marking most evenings.
You know, I've always found starting new jobs is always an exciting time. It's scary, always scary, always a little bit uncertain, but also exciting. You know, what did Captain Kirk say? To the third star on the left and straight on till dawn. I think that's the quote. Anyway, which was quoted from Peter Pan. There's always something exciting about that. So congratulations on this next new chapter for you. I hope you have a really good time at it.
Yep.
All right, what's next?
Veronica Ville Benson writes, what character outside of Marvel or DC do you think would be worthy enough to lift Mjolnir? I think Luke Skywalker or Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Spencer Reed from Criminal Minds.
Oh, the answer's obvious. It's easy. It's Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was actually that really famous, somebody made a cartoon of that, of Thor sitting on a roof or a cliff or something, and Mr. Rogers says, "Hello, friend, is this yours?" And he's like holding the thing. It's great. Mr. Rogers could have wielded the damn fucking hammer.
Wally.
Wally is a robot, so it doesn't really count. Wally doesn't count.
He doesn't even have emotions.
I know you don't.
Wally could just be kicked over and thrown in the trash because he's just a robot. He has no
just
emotions.
a robot.
What you guys don't know is that I wasn't answering any questions. I just say Wally every now and then.
Wally.
Wow. Wally.
Wally.
All right, what's next?
All right. Bryce Shawnette writes, how great and awesome would it be for the movie business if somehow both Oppenheimer and Barbie made $100 million plus opening weekend domestically? Just imagine that.
Oh, it'd be awesome. It'd be incredibly awesome. It's not going to happen, but it's incredibly awesome. I mean, Barbie has a shot.
One of them may, but not both. I doubt.
One of them might, and the one that has a chance is Barbie. Oppenheimer doesn't have a chance to make $100 million opening weekend. It may ultimately make more money than Barbie overall in the long run, but Barbie's going to open significantly bigger than Oppenheimer will. So they're unfortunately not both. But listen, whenever you got a weekend, and there haven't been many, but whenever you have a weekend that two movies make over $100 million, that's always great for everybody in the business, 100%. All right, what's next?
Okay, we got Sam Fisher. We're talking about Best Drama Series and Best Actor Emmys, but I don't think I've ever wanted something to sweep an award show more than Welcome to Wrexham. I just love that doc so much and fell in love with the players and citizens more than Rob and Ryan.
They really did an interesting thing with Welcome to Wrexham. By the way, Wrexham is playing in San Diego later this month against Manchester United in a friendly.
Yeah,
and
friendly, huh?
And Ann and I are going.
friendly.
We got
Nice.
tickets. We're going to go watch it. Here's the brilliance about it. They did not make Welcome to Wrexham, the docuseries, about soccer. They made it about the people.
The people.
And when the people, when you make it about
Say it.
the people,
Yeah, there you go.
when
The
you make
correct
it
way.
about the people, it doesn't matter if you're a soccer fan, not a soccer fan, then it doesn't matter because now you're telling stories that we all relate to. And I agree with you. I mean, I loved Welcome to Wrexham. Just the way you fell in love with this town, the city, and the people. And as somebody who, the people,
Wrexham.
as somebody who is a major sports fan, and a lot of my life revolves around the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
I instantly recognize and identify all these guys in this town who are like their whole life revolves around their soccer team. And it's wonderful. It's I can't wait for them to do another season.
We really need to rig this soundboard. With,
Oh, to have
I know.
Michael Shannon,
I know.
my
They-
people.
There's a few in here that they're mainstays, and they wouldn't be obnoxious, but once in a while.
Yeah.
All right,
Gotta
what's
work
next?
on that. Just be
I
funny.
know. All right, moving on to supers here. Unless you want to take a break.
No, let's keep going
All
for another couple minutes.
Fangblade 71. Obviously, Secret Invasion won't have Avengers in it, but the reason for them not being called is really dumb. Fury would definitely call one if he could.
Nope, I disagree. I think the way he explained it, and if you actually understand the Nick Fury character, the character who, as Tony Stark says, has his secrets have secrets and all that kind of stuff, and play things close to the vest, and doesn't want anybody, probably doesn't even want the Avengers to know that he's got what we know he's got. If you've watched the newest episode that came out last night, to me, it made 100% perfect sense. It absolutely did. That was as good of a reason to give as any for not having all the wildly different MCU character show. I thought it was quite a good approach, actually. All right, what's next?
Josh Becker writes, Nolan is experiencing 2008 again, where The Dark Knight released alongside Mamma Mia. Now Barbie, don't groan at that. Now Barbie releases alongside Oppenheimer. It's pretty cool.
I'm not sure that Mamma Mia, I mean, it did go on to make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was its opening weekend, though? Mamma Mia's opening weekend was only $27 million.
I think he means just like a lighthearted type of movie that's popular, but let's look that up.
But Barbie, I mean, it
Yeah.
opened to 27. Mamma Mia opened to $27 million. Barbie, they're saying could open as high as $100 million.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Like $85 to $105 million. So it's a little bit different than the 2008. But then again, Mamma Mia had great longevity to it. Made almost $700 million.
It was almost like, not quite, but Big Fat Greek Wedding, because people were going back and bringing their parents and stuff like that to Mamma Mia.
All right, what's next?
All right. Fangblaze 71 writes, obviously, Secret Invasion won't
Oh,
have...
already did that one.
Oh, yeah. Josh Becker. Nolan is... Wait.
Did that one too.
But I must have bumped it. Big Les writes, 5 years ago today, we lost a legend in the community, but a legend never forgotten. Keep it sweaty up there, Schnepp.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that before we started the show today. Today officially is the 5-year anniversary of the passing of Schnepp. In reality, he actually died a couple of days earlier, but it became public knowledge on this. I remember we were at
we just
we were
came
at
out of
Comic-Con.
your,
Yeah, we had just finished
panel.
your panel.
Yep, we just
at
come
the
out of the
library.
Masters of the Web panel.
Yeah.
And that's when I turned my phone back on and got the message that it was official at that point. And 5 years. Can't believe it's been that long already. Yeah, I still remember the sun was out, but it was partly cloudy. I remember I was standing on the second step with my one leg up on the main part, and I was talking to a couple of fans who had been in at our panel, and when my phone kicked in, and I got the information. All right, what's next?
Let's see. Schickster writes, how Netflix makes zero from you watching Suits when a portion of your $20 a month pays to have Suits with Netflix. Without shows, you unsubscribe. So
No, you totally misunderstand the situation. I don't pay $20 a month for Netflix so I can watch Suits. I pay $20 a month for Netflix so I can watch, The Witcher, and so I can watch that. The fact that Suits is there, I went and watched it, but that's not why I was paying my money. So essentially, if they were paying out residuals, right, for that, like they got my money. They got my monthly $20 a month because of the shows and the things and the reasons and the new original stuff that they create. That's why I'm paying my $20. If Suits wasn't on Netflix, I'm still have Netflix, right? So if you're Netflix, you don't want me, and if you're paying residuals out on these things, you don't want me to go and watch the other stuff because that's just costing Netflix money for no reason. So one of the things, he's talking about something that we brought up earlier today on the John Campea Show, and talking about the conundrum with residuals, that, I think the vast majority of stuff that things like the actors and the writers are asking for is totally reasonable and they should be able to get. But the one sticking point that I have a little bit of a difference of perception of than the writers and the actors do is the issue of residuals, because it seems like, as the way Chris Carr put it, is that it seems like the actors and the writers are trying to take an old formula and apply it to a totally new paradigm, and it doesn't work. Because the way television with syndication and rerun rights and all that kind of stuff works is completely different than the way stream works. And one of the things that I mentioned is if someplace like Netflix, Max, Disney Plus, if they were paying out residual money on top of everything else, licensing fees and all that kind of stuff, on these buried shows that not many people watch and people certainly don't pay their monthly subscription to watch, then what's going to happen is Netflix is going to get rid of those shows. They're going to dump them because those shows just cost them money instead of making them money. You see what I'm saying? It's costing them money, not making them money. And if you do business, if you got an element of your business that's costing you money without making you any money, guess what you're going to do? You're going to get rid of that thing out of your business. And a lot of people got very upset when Warner Brothers and Disney Plus and Paramount started dumping a bunch of their shows off the streaming service. That's part of the reason. It's because it shows that nobody signs up to our network in order to watch, but because it's there, it's costing us money, but it's not bringing any money in. So yeah, I don't pay my $20 a month in Netflix so I can watch Suits. That was just a secondary thing I did because it was there. But if they're paying out residuals on a regular basis, Netflix would rather me not watch Suits and would rather just get rid of it off the network. And that's something that they've got to figure out. There needs to be a new model of residuals, but that nobody's figured out yet. But they've got to figure it out at some point. All right, what's next?
Okay, we got Joel, who writes, I'm on the East Coast. Oppenheimer sold out this weekend. IMAX is sold until August 10th. That's crazy. I checked in Burbank just now. And the weekend one, it's like other than the first two rows. But the weekdays after next weekend is open. And next weekend, next Sunday, Saturday, open.
Yeah, like I said, I checked the Universal City Walk AMC IMAX, and it's got, I didn't even look during the week. I just looked on the weekend. And next weekend has got open seats. So I guess it depends on the town you're in. I guess it depends on where you are. Mm-hmm. All right, what's next?
We've got Joel. Have you seen, and we probably have so many more screens in Los Angeles in certain areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Joel, Joel writes, have you seen the story about Universal being accused of cutting trees to expose strikers to the heat wave? I mean, I've seen it, but
I don't buy that.
You got to prove it. They probably had that scheduled months ago.
I don't buy that at all. I don't. Guess what? You know what's hurting Universal? The actors and the writers being on strike. Mm-hmm. You know what's not hurting Universal? Them doing their striking at a certain spot. That's not hurting them out. So I don't buy that.
Yeah.
That just makes no sense. There's nothing gained by anybody there. Jonathan's probably right. It's probably some kind of regularly scheduled maintenance that was probably planned and on the books for months. But I don't buy it.
Because it's so easy nowadays. You see it in politics all the time that if you have a grievance and something happens, well, it happened because of this. Because I'm already pissed off about it. It happened because of that. It's like, you don't have proof. I know it.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing, but yeah, I don't. Again, what does that benefit Universal? Nothing. No. Yeah. What's hurting Universal is them being on strike, not where they're standing holding pickets. That isn't hurting Universal. They don't give a shit. It doesn't bother them one little bit. All right, guys, listen, we've got more to get to, but before we get to those, we're going to take just a quick second here and thank the two sponsors of today's episode of Open Mic, our friends, my mobile service provider, speaking of welcome to Wrexham, at Mint Mobile and Birddogs.
We want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. From the gas pump to the grocery store, your utility bills and favorite streaming services, inflation is everywhere. Seriously, make it stop. Thankfully, there's one company out there that's giving you a much-needed break. It's Mint Mobile. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know that ever since I switched to Mint Mobile, I've been saving almost 70% a month over my old phone plan. For people looking for extra savings this year, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. By going online only and eliminating the traditional cost of retail, Mint Mobile passes the significant savings on to you. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.
We want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this video, Birddogs. You know, as a guy, there's only two things that are important to me when it comes to fashion: looking good, and even more importantly, being comfortable. And that's where our sponsors, Birddogs, come to the rescue. Offering everything from pants like stretch khakis, joggers, and sweatpants, to shorts like gym shorts and swimsuits, and even great looking and comfortable polo shirts. Birddogs, like their stretch khaki shorts, are designed to fit slimmer through the thighs and legs, giving you a truly sculpted look. Birddog shorts fit way better than regular shorts that are made of a stiff, restricting cotton. You see, Birddogs fixed this issue by inventing cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki, but stretches so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. And that's just one of the reasons that by wearing Birddogs, you're gonna look good and, more importantly, feel good. So guys, go to birddogs.com/Campea for a free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/Campea for a free Yeti-style tumbler. Use code Campea. You won't want to take your Birddogs off. We promise you. And thank you to our friends at Mint Mobile and Birddogs for sponsoring this episode. All right, guys, with that down, let's get back to the remainder of your questions here, shall we? Jonathan, what we got up next?
All right, we've got Joel, who says, I love the show and have been a longtime viewer. Thanks, guys, for everything.
Oh, thank you. It's always nice when somebody just wants to write in to say something nice and be supportive. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that, man. All right, what's next?
All right, and also I skipped this one from Schickster. If 10 of 100 I watch is Suits, residuals equal 10% of the fee?
Yeah, no, it's not. See, like, if you never watched one single episode of Suits, you're still paying the same fee. So,
Yeah.
no, that's not the way it works. All right, what's next?
All right, Chef Rigo.
Chef
It
Rigo!
is time for a team lunch at Shogun. Birthday cake, hashtag birthday cake.
You know what it is? We've been saying for a while, we got to go back to Shogun for lunch. Maybe we should have done that today when Rob was in.
Either when Rob's in or like if Chris is back or whatever.
Yeah, we got to go out there and do
Yeah,
that
we're gonna
soon.
do that.
All right, what's next?
Justin D, 6 years ago, I asked on Collider Mailbag. Wow, I used to produce those. What Nolan should do after Dunkirk and what should he do after this? I still think an original Western. You guys?
I don't think he's got Western in his DNA.
Yeah, I would just say whatever it is that he's passionate about.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'd like to see. You know, listen, I always like to see filmmakers get outside their comfort zone. I would love to see Christopher Nolan do a straight up comedy. He's never done it. Because look, again, the thing that separates the greatest of all time from the great is the ability to tell any kind of story. The greatest of all time, Steven Spielberg, period pieces, dramas, sci-fi, epics, comedy, musicals, like you name it. Steven Spielberg can do it, and he's got Oscars on his mantle for it. And that's so I would love to see like guys who are in that category of great, like Christopher Nolan. I would love to see him expand himself a little bit. Try telling a different kind of story. Like spread your creative storytelling wings a little bit. Maybe a straight up horror movie, maybe a straight up comedy, maybe, I don't know. I would like to see him to do something. Look, I'll love whatever he does, but if I had my pick, I'd like to see him try something that he's never done before. All right, what's next?
Okay, Swati just gives us some support.
Thank you,
so much.
Swati. Appreciate that, man.
Say Much writes, thoughts on SAG reportedly giving The Chosen an example or exemption to keep shooting during the strike. Do you think independent or crowdfunded productions might be on the rise? Is this a good model way to go?
It's not a good model overall. It's good to do if that's what your options are. But yeah, so we talked about this on the podcast earlier today, that I think 39 movies just got given waivers, including a new Anne Hathaway movie, a new Matthew McConaughey movie, have been given exemptions. And we talked, you can check on the YouTube channel. We put up a video, we even segmented out. We got a thing there about how these movies can shoot while a writer's strike is going on. But like most of the movies, including the Anne Hathaway movie and the Matthew McConaughey movie, they're A24 movies. A24 is not a member of the AMPTP. And the AMPTP is who the actors union is striking against, not A24. They're striking at that. And so A24 applied for a waiver. The SAG leadership went over the application. They granted the waiver and they give it out on a project by project basis. But yeah, the movies that are going to make the most money are still going to be the ones that come out of the major studios, where Warner Brothers, Universal, Paramount, Disney, what have you. But there is a little bit of an advantage right now if you are one of these non-AMPTP entities and producers trying to make content to get that waiver. And while everybody else has their productions sitting quiet, you get to make your movies and TV shows. So it's a nice little thing in there with the waivers. All right, what's next?
All right, we've got Brovina Films writes, while it's that studios like A24 can obtain special permission to hire SAG actors during the strike, does this also protect actors that are working toward becoming SAG eligible during the strike?
As long as, listen, the only thing that the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild are striking against, they're not striking against McDonald's, so actors can go in and order some McNuggets. They're not striking against YouTube channels like the John Campea Show, so Chris Carr can still come in and do these things. They're striking against the AMPTP and their signatories, Disney, Netflix, Warner Brothers, Paramount, those sorts of things. So that's the one thing that if you are an aspiring actor and you hope to join SAG one day, you'll be blacklisted for life if you go and work for one of the AMPTP productions right now. But if it's for a non-AMPTP production right now, you're probably safe. All right, what's next?
All right. Also, Swati meant to say with his super chat, thanks and bring on the filthy.
Oh,
So,
thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Just popped in to say, and then Dallas Designer writes, just popped in to say, I really enjoyed Mission Impossible Age of Ultron. All right, that's an
I don't
interesting
understand the joke, but I'm sure there's a reference in there somewhere. Thank you, Dallas.
Fangblaze71 writes, I wonder where the real Rhodey has been in the MCU. My guess is the Skrulls have him in the hibernation chamber, just like where the victims.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I don't think. What's the name of the character in Black Panther? He's in Civil War.
Martin
Freeman.
Freeman.
Thank you.
Yeah. Character.
Yeah. So I think you're probably going to see that he's still alive somewhere. I think Rhodey is still alive somewhere. Yeah. I don't think they're going to have these characters killed off. All right. What's next?
All right. Ethan Holgate writes, you guys have probably said before, but considering you saw footage of Aquaman 2 at CinemaCon, did you think it looked good? Just curious.
They didn't show us a lot, but what they showed looked good.
Yeah.
But it's not like what they showed us for, say, Mission Impossible, which they showed us like a full 15-minute chunk of the movie. That's not what they showed us. It was really more like a glorified trailer.
Yeah, it was like a sizzle reel.
Yeah, like a sizzle thing, right? So we never got a sense of what one of the scenes fully felt like or anything like that. But yeah, like what we saw looked good.
It looked Aquaman-ish.
But again, it's not like the stuff they showed us for so many of the other movies. Not like the stuff they showed us for Barbie or for whatever. It was just like a very quick 2-minute sizzle reel.
We did get a good look at Black Manta, though.
Yes.
He was really
good.
the focus of that whole thing.
Yeah,
really.
But we didn't get a scene of him talking and stuff like that.
No.
But he looks good.
Everyone got new suits.
Visually, looks good, but I don't know anything else about it other than that. All right, what's next?
All right, we've got King Daddy Goat writes, graphics Skrull looks goofy as hell in episode 5.
I got news for you. All Skrulls look goofy as hell.
Yeah, they're big headed.
And that's fine. I mean, that's fine. That's what that alien race looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they all look rather silly, and that's okay.
They're bobbleheads.
Yeah, they look like big bobbleheads, 100%. All right, what's next?
You know who they remind me of? Remember that guy in Star Trek? What was his name with the pink? It kind of looked like there was it wasn't Worf, but it was the other. It was like Deep Space Nine Star Trek. The dude that looked like he had balls on his head.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
I'll have to look it up.
Worf was also on Deep Space Nine, so
yeah, but it's not the Klingon.
Okay.
It's some other dude.
All right, what's next?
All
Balls
right.
on his head.
Bader writes, if Oppenheimer somehow beats Barbie at this weekend's box office,
It won't. So there's no point in even asking about it. Anyway.
Yeah, let's move on.
Wow.
John Campea Show should be titled "Now I Am Become Death, the Destroyer of Barbie Worlds."
Yeah, I mean, listen.
We'll look into it.
Again, I believe Oppenheimer will be the better movie. I believe Oppenheimer has a chance to make more money at the end of the day, like when it's all said and done and the total box office run is finished. But yeah, I mean, make no mistake, Barbie is going to beat Oppenheimer at the box office this weekend. All right, what's next?
All right, we've got Azaz watching Oppenheimer in 3 hours, Barbie in 9.
Yeah, we're seeing Barbie in little under 3 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes when we're watching Barbie. And then we're not watching Oppenheimer until tomorrow. Very excited about both, though. Once again, reminder, keep your eyes open on the YouTube channel later tonight. I'll be putting up our out of the theater reaction to Barbie later. All right, what's next?
All right, we've got Alex Von Gollum writes, hi, watching a previous podcast, I had the idea of taking Margot Robbie's Barbie character into Oppenheimer and Killian's character into Barbie to see what they do. Someone please make these movies. Someone did do a little kind of a video meme.
Yeah, I heard about that. Somebody did a Barbenheimer mash-up trailer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard. So it is out there. So I don't have a link for it, but by all means, go find it. And if you do find it, leave a link for it in the comments below so other people can go see it. All right, what's next?
Orange Hand writes, I find it odd that Westworld writers changed the show when fans figured out a plot point. Isn't that dumb? Jon Snow's parentage was figured out well in advance, yet George isn't changing his plan.
I don't care. I mean,
no one was watching Westworld anyway.
Nobody. Yeah, I mean, nobody was watching Westworld. Nobody was watching Westworld. I mean, they were in the first season, but the viewership steadily died off after the first season. I know I tapped out about 3 or 4 episodes into season 2 is when I tapped out. And I didn't even think season 1 was all that good. It had moments. I thought it had its moments. I quite frankly found it to be a very slow, boring show. Now that's just me. I've got some friends of mine that really loved it, and that's great. I'm not crap talking. I'm just saying it just didn't work for me. But by the end, nobody was watching the show, and so I don't really think it matters. All right, what's next?
Right, we've got Azazu writes, RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. seems to a contender for Best Supporting Actor. I'm guessing it's RDJ?
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, a lot of people are saying really good things about it. Let's not get ahead of ourselves with that, though. It's way too early to call something like that. But, I mean, there's certainly more people are talking about Cillian Murphy in this movie. People are saying that this is the best. He's at the height of his powers. This is the best he's ever been. But we heard some very good things about Robert Downey Jr. as well. So listen, Robert Downey Jr. needs a win. He does.
Yep.
I agree.
Because, everything he's tried to do outside of the MCU has just not worked since Sherlock Holmes, right? I mean, unless there's those of you out there who are dying for a Dr. Dolittle too. But, and listen, I didn't even mind The Judge, but nobody went to go see it.
I heard that one was okay.
I like The Judge. I did. It completely flopped, though. Nobody went to go see it, unfortunately. But yeah, he needs a win. I hope this can give one to him. All right, what's next?
All right. Brivona Films currently waiting an entire week to see Oppenheimer. There's only 170 millimeter IMAX theater in North Texas. Yay me.
See, in towns like that, where it's within 100, and there's a lot of places, there are not all that many 70 millimeter IMAX screens. I mean, Los Angeles is the movie capital of the world. I think there's 4 of them here, right? So if you're in a place like that, and you got 170 millimeter IMAX screen, that I can see being booked for a week. I can totally see that happening. But listen, don't wait too long. Go see it in another movie theater and then go see it on the 70 millimeter IMAX. You're don't hold out. Treat yourself. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
As Tom Hatherford would say. Treat yourself. All right, what's next?
Oh, I did that. It put you in debt. Nicholas Grimey writes, hi, John and friends. With the ongoing strikes, is the Harry Potter show reboot going to be delayed in production release? Are Britain Productions on strike? Also, are British Actors USA Union members?
By the way, Nicholas put in a $20 super chat. So thank you so much for that, Nicholas. I'm not really well-versed. From what I understand, there are many production companies in the UK that are not members of the AMPTP. And I don't know... and therefore, I think that many British productions can be made. I have no idea where Warner Brothers plans to make it. But listen, as far as I know, that Harry Potter show they're planning is still a ways off. The actor strike is days old. And honestly, I could be wrong. But I don't expect the actor strike to last very long, to be honest with you.
You're pointing out the 70 millimeter
IMAX screens, yeah.
There's only 19 screens in the whole United States offering Oppenheimer in that.
Really?
Yeah. So in the whole U.S., only 19 screens. That's probably why it's sold out.
Are you sure? Only 19?
I'm reading it right here.
Wow.
Oh, this is going way back. You mean, Laura was telling me, is it Quark, the Ferengi? Because those are weird.
With the giant ears?
Yeah.
That's Ferengi.
Thank
you.
Like balls on his head? Okay.
Look like, the giant ears. It's look.
Ferengi. Okay. Now I see.
Big head too.
Sorry, let's go. I forgot. What was he asking besides the IMAX?
My question's more important.
Oh, that's right. Again, I don't know that we're going to see much delay on that, to be honest with you, because again, the actor strike itself is only days old. And I put up a whole video the other day, about why I don't think we should expect the actor strike to last too long, because simply speaking, the studios can go without the writers for a while. They can't go without the actors for a day. And therefore, they are really going to work overtime. And you know what? To be honest, it doesn't even sound like, I read that thing that the SAG put out the other day. It honestly doesn't sound like the two sides are that terribly far apart at this point. Like, I expect them to bridge the gap. Like, the residuals issue is going to remain a very, very sticky issue. And I'm on record saying I think actually both sides need to punt on the residuals issues, because I don't think anybody's figured out how residuals work really in the world of streaming. So I think that's something they're just going to have to say, you know what? We're going to give you this much of a raise of all actors' base salaries. We're going to put more money into benefits and put more money into insurance. And we're going to give you safeties and protections from AI and digital likeness stealing and all that kind of stuff. But we all need to agree that on the residuals issue, we don't have an answer yet. And we have to do negotiations again in 3 years, because these contracts last for 3 years. Let's punt for now and revisit it in 3 years. If I think they can do that, I think you're going to see this strike end by, I'm going to say mid-August. I think by May. I don't think it's going to go like almost 3 months like the writer strike has. I think it'll be done by mid-August. Again, I could be wrong, but we'll find out. All right, what's next?
All right. Joey writes, only way for streamers to give residuals is to get rid of the ad-free tier. I've said that. And only have ad tier. What do you think about only having ad tier? I think it's the future, personally.
I mean, but then that's not what the customers want.
I know, but
that's the thing. That's the problem. It's not what the consumers want. The consumers want an ad-free experience. Now, obviously, not all consumers. Some consumers are very happy with it. Now we're right back to the old TV model. But even then, like, see, where the real money for residuals under the old model came from wasn't even commercials. It was from syndication rights being sold. And like a show like Seinfeld could have its syndication rights sold 50 to 500 different times. And every time it would be sold, that would generate big things of revenue that come into the original production studio. Monies get distributed, all that kind of stuff. In the world of streaming, number one, shows don't last long enough. Like, it's rare that a show on Netflix lasts more than 3 seasons. And instead of like 20 episodes a season, they're like 8, 10, something like that. And then for the most part, they just live on that streaming service forever. They don't go into syndication. They don't have their rights resold again and again and again and again and again, like A-Team did, or Gilligan's Island did before my time, or Seinfeld, or Parks and Rec, or The Office, or anything like that. They're on that streaming service, and that's where they're going to stay.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if just an ad-supported commercial thing is necessarily the answer. They got to figure this out, because it was all based and premised on the idea of syndication before. That's what residuals are really about. And there is no syndication anymore.
No one syndicates also because there's so much content.
Yeah. There's just a ridiculous amount of content and that's why shows are getting dropped off the streamers now, because there's all this content that the streamers have to pay licensing fees for just to be there, but people aren't paying their monthly subscriptions to watch those shows. So it's just costing them money, and they got to figure this out, because I don't want to live in a streaming world where, like, the promise of a streaming world is that, listen, I'm going to make up a show called Blue Pig Thunder. Okay.
Like it.
So I want to live in a world where Blue Pig Thunder, like, okay, maybe I don't watch it for the next 7 years, but I like knowing that it's there on Peacock. It's there. If I did want to watch it, it's there, and I can go and watch it. And I would love for that to be the case. But as long as that's costing studios and streaming services to lose money, they're never going to do it. So they got to figure it out. And I don't have the answer, unfortunately. All right, what's next?
That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, guys, so that'll do it for this installment of Blue Pig Thunder. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Guys, don't forget to come on back tomorrow for tomorrow's broadcast day here at John Campea. And make sure you, by the way, guys, the best way to consume our daily podcast, the John Campea Show podcast, is by subscribing to it on your favorite podcasting app of choice, on either Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. We're heading towards hopefully 8 weeks in a row where we break our all-time podcast download record. We've done it for 7 weeks in a row. Here's hoping we can make it to 8. And thank you to everybody who subscribed to our podcast there. Also, guys, don't forget, Once again, keep your guys' eyes open on the YouTube channel a little bit later tonight. I'll be doing our out of the theater reaction for Barbie. And then we'll have our out of the theater reaction tomorrow night for Oppenheimer. So for Ray Ora,
Hey.
Jonathan Voico,
Yeah.
my name's John Campea. And until next time, my friends.